Ladies and gentlemen, there's a power we often overlook, a force so simple, so effortless, yet so unbelievably transformative: kindness. Not the grand gestures, not the headline-making acts. I'm talking about the small ones, the moments most people dismiss. The things you can do in seconds but that someone else may remember for a lifetime. A smile, a genuine "how are you?" holding the door, sending that message you've been meaning to send. The truth is, small acts create big shifts in others and in ourselves. Small acts create big emotional impact because they touch the human heart in ways that logic can't measure. We often assume that change requires enormous effort, grand gestures, or dramatic breakthroughs, but the truth is that people are far more deeply moved by the simple, genuine expressions of care they encounter in everyday life. A small act of kindness has the power to interrupt someone's pattern, especially when they're caught in stress, self-doubt, or emotional fatigue. When a person is struggling internally, even the slightest acknowledgement can feel like a lifeline, a reminder that they are not invisible or forgotten. Think about the moments in your own life when someone surprised you with a tiny act of generosity or warmth. Maybe it was a stranger who held the door when your hands were full, a friend who sent a message just when you were doubting yourself, or a coworker who noticed you were off and asked if you were okay. Those moments stay with you because they hit on a fundamental human need, the need to be seen, recognized, and valued. Kindness communicates that without needing a single elaborate effort. It's a direct connection from one heart to another. What makes these small acts so powerful is that they operate beneath the surface of everyday noise. People rarely announce what they're going through. Someone may look fine on the outside while silently carrying burdens no one knows about. A few gentle words or a small gesture can be the exact moment they breathe easier, feel supported, or realize the world isn't as cold as they thought. That emotional shift can change the tone of their entire day, and in some cases, give them the strength to keep going when they were on the verge of giving up. Another reason small acts matter so deeply is because they are accessible. Anyone can do them. You don't need money, status, or a special talent. All you need is presence. That presence, offering a minute of your time, a sincere compliment, an encouraging word, creates emotional resonance. It tells the other person, "I care enough to notice you." That alone can restore hope or brighten someone's spirit in ways you might never see. Even the smallest moments of kindness can also create a chain reaction. When you lift someone emotionally, they're more likely to pass that feeling forward to their family, their coworkers, or even a stranger. Your one act becomes part of a larger wave. The initial gesture may be small, but its influence travels far beyond the moment you gave it. You don't always witness the impact, but it unfolds nonetheless. Ultimately, the emotional power of small kindness comes from its purity. It's real, it's human, and it meets people where they are. In a world where so many feel rushed, disconnected, or overlooked, the smallest act can be the moment that reminds someone their life touches others. And sometimes that reminder is everything. A small act of kindness triggers a ripple effect because kindness is naturally contagious. When someone receives a genuine gesture of care, no matter how small, it awakens a part of them that wants to give that same feeling to someone else. Humans are wired for connection. When kindness touches us, it shifts our emotional state, softens our defenses, and opens the door for more generosity to flow through us. What begins as a simple moment, like a smile or a few encouraging words, doesn't stop at that single interaction. It moves outward, influencing everyone the recipient interacts with afterward. Imagine a person having a tough morning, exhausted, irritated, or overwhelmed. Then someone unexpectedly does something thoughtful, maybe lets them go first in line, compliments their effort, or helps them without being asked. That single moment can break the momentum of negativity they were spiraling into. They feel lighter, they breathe easier. Their mindset shifts, even if subtly. Suddenly, they're more patient with others, more understanding with coworkers, more gentle with the people they love. The kindness that began with one individual quietly spreads through their interactions for the rest of the day. In this way, kindness behaves like emotional energy. Energy doesn't disappear, it transfers. When you give kindness, you're passing forward positive emotional energy that the next person will carry within them. The recipient often becomes the giver because the experience of receiving kindness awakens a sense of gratitude, and gratitude fuels generosity. That momentum builds, sometimes reaching people far removed from the original moment. One gesture can inspire a chain of behaviors that travels across families, workplaces, communities, or even entire social networks. Another dimension of the ripple effect is the way kindness shapes perception. When someone experiences kindness, it shifts how they see the world. They start noticing good things more often. They become more aware of opportunities to help others. They feel safer and more supported, which makes them more willing to step out of their own concerns and extend help. A world that felt stressful or demanding begins to feel warmer, more connected, more hopeful. That psychological shift doesn't stay inside them. It influences how they speak, how they listen, how they show up for others. Even if the initial act seems tiny, the ripple often becomes bigger than the giver could ever realize. You might hold the door for a stranger and think nothing of it, but to them, it might restore faith on a day when they felt alone. They might then go home and treat their family with more patience, or encourage a friend who's struggling, or show compassion to someone who needs it. Your single gesture quietly influences dozens of moments you'll never see. Kindness spreads because it reminds people what they're capable of. It reminds them of their own humanity and generosity. And once that spark is lit inside someone, it naturally carries forward. That's the magic of the ripple effect. One small act can end up touching hundreds of lives long after the moment has passed. Being kind elevates your own mindset and inner strength because every act of kindness is also a decision about who you are. When you choose to be kind, especially when it's not convenient, when you're tired, or when someone doesn't deserve it, you're training your mind to operate from a place of power instead of reactivity. You're telling yourself, I am the kind of person who adds value, not noise, who brings light, not more chaos. That identity shift strengthens you from the inside out. Kindness pulls you out of a self-centered state. When you're stressed, stuck, or overwhelmed, your focus tends to narrow down to your own problems. But the moment you do something kind else, your attention expands. You step outside your own story and connect with another human being. That connection changes your emotional state. You feel more resourceful, more grounded, and more alive because you're not just absorbing life. You're contributing to it. There is also a deep sense of confidence that comes from knowing you can make a difference, even in small ways. When you see that your words, your smile, your help, or your presence can genuinely lift someone, you start to realize that you are not powerless. That realization is huge. It builds inner strength. You stop seeing yourself as a passive observer of life and start seeing yourself as an active creator of positive experiences for yourself and others. Being kind also helps you master your emotions. There will be moments when people frustrate you, disappoint you, or act unfairly. Choosing kindness in those moments is not weakness, it's emotional leadership. It means you are not a slave to your anger, ego, or impulse. You can feel those emotions and still decide to respond with grace. Every time you do that, you become mentally tougher and emotionally more resilient. You're building a muscle, the ability to stay centered, even when things around you are not. On top of that, kindness shifts the way you talk to yourself. When you practice compassion outwardly, it becomes easier to extend it inwardly. You start catching your own negative self-talk and replacing it with something more supportive. You recognize that just as others deserve patience and understanding, so do you. That inner kindness reduces fear and self-doubt, making it easier to take risks, try new things, and bounce back from setbacks. There's also a powerful feedback loop. When you are kind, people are more open, appreciative, and cooperative with you. Your relationships improve, your environment becomes more positive, and you experience less friction in daily life. All of this reinforces a healthier mindset. You feel more supported and more capable, which strengthens your belief in yourself and your future. Ultimately, kindness is not just something you give away, it's something you grow within yourself. It becomes part of your character, part of your emotional armor. It keeps you strong without making you hard, soft without making you weak. It's one of the simplest ways to build a mindset that is confident, courageous, and unshakably human. Every day provides opportunities to practice kindness because life is constantly presenting moments where a small gesture can shift the energy around you. These opportunities aren't rare or extraordinary. They are woven into the routine interactions you have with people at home, at work, in public, and even with strangers you may never see again. The real question is not whether opportunities exist, but whether we're aware enough to notice them and bold enough to act on them. Most people move through their day on autopilot. They rush from one task to the next, caught up in deadlines, responsibilities, and distractions. In that state, it's easy to overlook the subtle moments where kindness could make a difference. But when you train yourself to slow down just enough to notice, you'll see these opportunities everywhere. It could be as simple as giving someone your full attention when they're talking, even if you're busy. It could be choosing patience instead of irritation when someone makes a mistake. It could be offering encouragement when you sense someone is doubting themselves. These tiny moments are doorways to impact. The chance to be kind often shows up in unexpected ways. You might hold the elevator for someone who's rushing. You might let another driver merge into your lane. You might help someone carry something heavy. These things take seconds, yet they can change the tone of someone's morning. And when you start seeing kindness as a natural part of daily life rather than a special gesture reserved for rare moments, it becomes easier and more instinctive. You become the person who steps up. Not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because it's simply who you choose to be. There are also opportunities for kindness in emotional spaces. Someone may not say they're struggling, but you can hear a heaviness in their tone or a pause in their voice. Asking, "Are you okay?" or offering a few sincere words can be incredibly meaningful. You don't have to solve their problems. Sometimes kindness is just making someone feel seen. And these emotional acts of kindness are often the most powerful because people hide their struggles so well. Another important aspect is kindness toward yourself. Each day gives you opportunities to show yourself understanding, patience, and forgiveness. You can choose not to beat yourself up over a mistake. You can choose to rest when your mind or body needs it. You can speak to yourself with the same compassion you offer others. This form of kindness strengthens you, so you have more capacity to give to others without feeling drained or resentful. Kindness also shows up in choices that ripple outward. You can encourage someone who feels stuck. You can share knowledge that makes someone's life easier. You can include someone who feels left out. You can be the person who brings a sense of safety, warmth, or positivity in any room you walk into. Every day offers dozens of these moments. They may be small, but their impact is anything but small. When you start looking for these opportunities, you begin to live more intentionally. You become more aware, more connected, and more present. Life feels richer because you're contributing to it rather than just passing through it. And the beautiful truth is that kindness doesn't require perfect timing, special skills, or ideal conditions. The world gives you the chance to practice it every single day. You just have to choose to take it. So today, choose one small act. And watch how it expands. Watch how it amplifies. Watch how it transforms not only others, but you. Because sometimes the smallest act of kindness is the spark that lights someone's entire world.